think this is just stock footage from that Southwest Airlines reality show. This logging truck is being driven by no one.
Your hair's longer.
This bad father is bad because he doesn't know the length of the hair of his daughter who lives 6 states away. This giant 2-story house only has 1 bathroom.
Oh, right. 1 bathroom. My first day at a new school.
That's a hell of a great parking spot she got on her first day.
Nice ride.
This guy's wearing a vest when he rips on Bella's ride, but then it's gone in the next shot.
Isabel Swan.
You're, Isabella.
Hey, you're from Arizona, right?
Everyone knows the new girl in school almost immediately. Who the is this, the director's daughter? White guy definitely shouldn't be chasing after black guy.
You're the shiny new toy.
What is it about the pasty, introverted Bella that makes everyone so drawn to her? It's really cold in Washington right now, but there's a large fan with stupid confetti flowing out of it, keeping the room cool, I guess. Yep, this is how British people react to Kristen Stewart, all right. I tried looking at a girl like this once, but all I got was a restraining order. Well, at least they were subtle with the angel imagery. Edward moves 60 feet in half a second, and no one questions it but Bella.
You should ask Jessica.
This guy got turned down by Bella, but lucked into Jessica. That's like asking out the most average girl in school, but finding out the homecoming queen wants your jock.
Are you gonna tell me how you stopped the van?
Private conversation happens 15 inches from 2 random girls' ears. Bella trips so hard it pushes the girl with no hat into another dimension and replaces her with a girl in a hat.
What did your friends mean about, the Cullens don't come here?
You caught that, huh?
Dude, everybody caught that. He was the only one speaking to a group of 7 people.
I played Santa one year.
I sure am glad we learned about the guy playing Santa Claus when Bella was young, or I might not have given a that he's gonna die. See, Spider-Man, even Bella Swan uses Google over Bing. Bella uses the internet to find a book containing information instead of using the internet to find the information itself. You know, a remake of I Spit on Your Grave might be appropriate right now. Yeah, Edward looks pretty scary. I'm sure 4 rapists would instantly back down from a fight because he's staring at them. Sure, save Bella from rape, but almost kill her while driving.
You don't know the vile, repulsive things they're thinking.
I'm pretty sure Bella knows the vile, repulsive things they were thinking. They weren't trying to recruit her for the basketball team. Forget the rapists. I want to know what vile and repulsive things Jessica and her friend are thinking.
Just examine the body.
He died?
I'm all out of to give about the guy who played Santa Claus that one time. The police chief leaves his computer and desk lamp on overnight, wasting taxpayer dollars. Bella Googles cold one and somehow doesn't end up with a page full of Budweiser results. In general, cold ones live in these vast countries, and this one very specific part of North America. Sure, if I'm worried about vampires in the Pacific Northwest, I go straight for the information about Egypt.
Bella's research into vampires is way more interesting than the actual story she's in.
These traits describe LeBron James, not vampires. Okay, everyone in the whole school would just assume they're about to go have sex.
Like you're from a different time. You never eat or drink anything. You don't go out in the sunlight.
Yeah, but this kind of diagnosis is why people always think they have a crazy disease after logging into WebMD.
You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
Dude, you thought she was gonna find your diamond-encrusted chest disgusting? Seriously?
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much.
I'm here. I trust you.
Geez, what does it take to turn this girl off? Look at the top of her head. It's clearly sunny. He's even wearing sunglasses for f***'s sake, so why isn't he sparkling right now?
I'm breaking all the rules now anyway.
Well, Edward did say something about breaking the rules. Might as well throw the plot's rules out the window, too.
These two go from rain-soaked to completely dry again within the same conversation. And they're wearing the same outfits, so don't go giving me that it was different days bull.
My family, we think of ourselves as vegetarians, right? Because we only survive on the blood of animals.
I know what Edward is saying, but he basically defined the antonym of a vegetarian to explain how the Cullens are like vegetarians.
Is it really necessary to use your super speed here?
What did you expect? Coffins and dungeons and moats?
Ideas to make the whole series better passed off as a joke.
She already ate.
Well, that seems like a reasonable reaction. Isn't this where Ferris tried to lower the mileage on Cameron's dad's car before it plummeted down below?
No bed?
Jeez, I guess we know what's on her mind.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
Did he just say Spider Monkey?
So Bella's over here looking bored while Edward plays the piano, but then somehow shows up right next to him mid-note between cuts?
Looks like your friends are flagging you.
Nobody would butt dance in the window to embarrass their friend if that friend's dad was the chief of police. The real special effect of this movie is the one where Bella's screaming is invisible.
I'm sorry.
It's times like these when I see supposedly 16-year-old Bella in her panties that I remember that Edward is over 100 years old. This is exactly what Bram Stoker had in mind when he wrote Dracula.
Why the f is Carlisle sliding? The ball's in the outfield. The outfielders are too busy smashing into each other. Run home, Carlisle. Get your head in the game.
This dude totally and obviously jumps on a trampoline.
Alice is getting rocked. Team Edward needs to get a relief pitcher.
My monkey man.
This movie is entirely too fascinated with monkey analogies.
Alice can tell the future, except for when 3 bloodthirsty vampires are going to show up.
He's got unparalleled senses, absolutely lethal.
So why is he so easy to kill then?
Like him in my 300 years.
Thanks for that much-needed exposition about how long you've been a vampire.
Edward shuts this trunk twice.
Bella, Alice, and Jasper have made the 25-hour drive from Forks, Washington to Phoenix, Arizona in like a couple of hours. Let's see, these vampires sparkle in the sun, they play baseball, and have reflections. Are we sure these are vampires and not just someone you meet in an after-hours club on ecstasy?
Action.
Is there a website for vampires to watch blood-sucking porn? I guess Victoria took the night off. I mean, what could possibly go wrong when James decided to meet Bella all by himself at this creepy school for Enter the Dragon students? Edward kills James in 2 minutes flat. For a supposedly lethal vampire that Loretta's never seen in his 300 years, James is a total pussy.
Try to suck the venom out.
What's odd is that they're not talking about the vampire venom. They're just talking about the natural venom that flows through Kristen Stewart.
With this setup, everyone's prom photo has a line of other prom couples in the background behind them.
They got Radiohead to agree to allow this song in the end credits. Thanks for making me burn all my Radiohead CDs, Radiohead. "15 seconds of the Summit logo. 45-second reveal of a title that has 7 letters in it.
Like fire and powder.
Oh good, Bella's narrating again. New filmmakers don't take creative license to stop this vampire sparkle bullshit. Heavy-handed Romeo and Juliet reference.
Another missing hiker brings the total to 3 presumed dead.
Movie rips off the opens with everyone on edge about a mysterious killer animal that is obviously really a vampire thing from the first Twilight movie. 8 out of the 9 cars in this shot are silver. Edward is a dick to his fellow students by parking over 3 available spaces in a tiny parking lot.
I'm 109.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be dating such an old man.
You think? Oh, weird. They got a new actor to play Jacob who isn't shirtless all the time.
Hello, biceps. You know, anabolic steroids are really bad for you.
Well, I'm just filling out, Bella.
Haha, gross. Edward leaves Bella to talk with Jacob in private, but then stands close enough for someone who doesn't even have vampire hearing to eavesdrop on the conversation.
I saw this the other day and thought of you. Catches bad dreams.
But not bad wigs. Edward made it sound like this conversation was going to be something deep, but it was just a bunch of idle chatter and a dream catcher at the end.
How come Jacob Black gets to give you a gift and I don't?
Because I have nothing to give back to you.
It's your f***ing birthday, Bella. You don't have to exchange presents.
Bella, you give me everything just by breathing.
Holy
Bella!
Alice has one short flight of stairs left, but decides to jump over the railing to get to Bella 2 seconds faster. Teachers of the world, when you are mouthing along with the bullshit film you're showing your students, it's time to switch to a new bullshit film.
I hate being celebrated.
Your worst tragedies. Look at Romeo.
Edward easily segues into an inappropriate Romeo and Juliet analogy from a discussion about hating birthdays.
Killed his true love out of sheer stupidity.
Romeo didn't kill his true love. She killed herself.
Provoked the Volturi.
Edward casually mentions the Volturi as if Bella's supposed to know what that is.
And we don't kill conspicuously.
Then what about those vampires last movie that ate the guy that played Santa Claus that one time? They were killing conspicuously, out the ass.
I found it in your bag.
Did you expect to find a camera when you opened Bella's bag, or were you just casually rummaging around in it?
Yes, you've been looking kind of pale lately.
Pot calls the kettle pale. Paper cuts do not cause vampire enticing blood drips of this nature. Bella appears to have a school lunch entirely composed of pretzel balls, falling down while running from your failed teen romance cliche. 6 minutes of sulking. From October to November, the same bullshit is on Bella's bed in the exact same place. Either she never went to bed this entire time, or she's an expert in placing things in the exact same position every day. Also, there are 3 lamps in Bella's room in this shot, and more on the string here, and another hanging lamp, and 1 more on the shelf, at least 1 more lamp over here. Oh look, another one back in the corner. Oh god, another lamp, and another string of lamps here, and 1 more down here on a little shelf. That's 10 lamps in 1 teenage girl's bedroom. And 2 of those 10 lamps are actually strings of dozens of little lamps. The Cullens have Mac email addresses. Hipsters. Also, why are all her messages to the Cullens being returned with delivery failure? I know they left the area, at least part of the reason is so they don't smell her blood and want to eat her, but they can't still use their .me email address wherever the they're hiding out at? They can't still email this poor girl? There's no blood smell in email, is there?
It's not normal, this behavior.
It took 3 months for Bella's dad to realize her behavior wasn't normal.
Keep walking.
Movie just decides on a whim that Edward can appear as a mist to his lover to warn her of danger, raising the question why he never did this before now, and of course, why he never does it again in future movies.
Bella, that's Quill and Embry.
I'm cool, it's Tara.
Hey, thanks for giving me your last name too, man. I appreciate it.
We're friends. I don't know.
Burn!
Ooh, burn. Did the director just go with the throwing a piece of pizza and it turns into a shop tool in mid-air transition? That's a bold choice. It's like the director got the gig by going into the pitch meeting and blowing everyone away with his creative vision for never-before-seen bike shop transition shots.
Is that Sam Yulee?
Bella recognizes some random shirtless Native American teen from a quarter-mile away in a moving car. Hey, Taylor Lautner's back. Where was he the whole movie? Also, I know we wanted a gratuitous Jacob takes off his shirt shot, but are we really treating a fresh, bleeding head wound with a dirty, sweaty t-shirt that a teenage boy has been wearing while riding dirt bikes all day?
A bear, maybe?
Or an alien.
These so-called bear attacks are all over the news, and yet Angela's friends decide she's crazy for saying she saw a bear.
We could check out love spelled backwards is love.
How about face punch?
Well, it's definitely January if there are movies called Love Spelled Backwards is Love and Face Punch.
I heard it sucks.
Movie that sucks, cast judgment on fake movie that sucks. How can we squeeze this Burger King product placement into the movie? I mean, they paid us a bunch of money. Oh, I know! Trash! Also, the bag is turned so that the side with the logo is facing the camera in this shot. But in the next shot, the bag has been delicately turned so as to reposition the logo side of the bag to be facing the camera again.
Gun down, or I'm gonna blow your freaking head off, both of you.
Fake movie that apparently sucks has way better dialogue than the real movie it's in. Pontypool? What the f*** is that?
You want me to put you in the hospital?
I think Bella was right about those steroids she was joking about earlier.
The movie's over. What are you doing?
The movie's apparently over, but no one's walking out of it.
Jake, your dad says...
Man, half this f***ing movie is just voiceover of Bella leaving voicemails and writing letters to people.
We can't be friends anymore.
Instead of just explaining to Bella, who clearly already knows about vampires, that he's a werewolf, Jacob treats her like Encino Man and tries to hurt her feelings to make her go away. Pseudo-villain from the first movie shows up in a field looking for Bella just on the off chance she's there.
Why?
Is there any f***ing reason he can't do this on a regular basis? You know, have conversations with her, tell her he loves her, keep her from going insane. He only ever shows up to scold her or warn her. They could have had some weird mist vampire version of Skype sex even.
Make it quick.
You will feel nothing.
Then do it already. Lupus Ex Machina.
I wish I could explain, but I literally can't.
Jacob botches the literally protocol.
Jake, what are you doing?
After having literally seen Jacob jump up to a room like a cartoon, now she begins to worry about him jumping out of the window. Also, you live in a world where vampires exist. How many clues are going to hit you over the head that Jake's a werewolf before you realize it? Bella, who has shown no propensity for violence so far, decides now is the time to slap a naked dude in a gang. And because of what? Because he's laughing? Also, I guess werewolves have all the composure of a drunk in a sports bar. Bella, I mean, are you really going to have to wait until Jacob turns into a f***ing werewolf right in front of you before you realize he's a f***ing werewolf? Wait, what? Jacob's a werewolf? Oh, that explains so much. Why does Mist Edward appear to warn her of vampires and other general risky behavior, but not show up with any warnings before she goes and learns the secrets of the werewolves, his mortal enemies?
Oh, hey. About Emily, Sam's fiance? Don't stare. It bugs Sam.
Do we really have to go through suspense about what's wrong with Emily so that Bella doesn't stare? Just say she's got horrible scars on her face. In fact, why didn't you just say that on the ride over here? Horribly scarred person is turned around so that it's some great reveal that they're scarred cliché. That's a ton of muffins. Was she expecting all these dudes to show up to the house? Why were they all going to Jacob's house then? Sure was convenient that Bella was there to see all that wolfing out if all they were doing was grabbing a buddy for breakfast.
Can't really run with vampires, because they're fast.
Yeah? Well, we're faster.
Dude, the vampires we've seen in these movies move at a blur. Do you have better editing software to make you look like you're faster than that? Where did Jacob get a shirt after the melee with Paul?
So you're a werewolf?
Yeah. Last time I checked.
Well, can't you find a way to just... stop?
Oh my god, I've watched horrible movies before, but this line might be the stupidest line I've ever heard in my life. First off, Bella, who fell in love with a vampire, would probably never say this. Second, this line just begs the movie to steal a page from the X2 script and give its monster characters a gay subtext.
It's not a lifestyle choice, Bella. I was born this way. I can't...
Movie steals a page from the X2 script and gives its monster characters a gay subtext. Also, Lady Gaga lyrics turned movie dialogue cliche.
I was born this way. The only thing we do kill, vampires.
So what was Paul gonna do to Bella when he roid raged into a werewolf 5 minutes ago? Was he just gonna give her a couple scars and say, "Good day, madam"?
Victoria's here?
Was. We chased her all the way to the Canadian border the other night.
We had to stop there because Border Patrol would have been pissed.
She's fast. You don't know how fast...
Did you not hear Jacob say they chased Victoria all the way to the Canadian border? Bella's memories of Edward also include his Volvo XC60. Man, she misses Edward, but she misses the car too. Apparently a wolf walked through here, hopped on one leg, and managed to avoid making tracks anywhere else. What happened to the other people who were hunting with Charlie and Harry? Oh no, not the water. How can we ever chase her now? Even though we were shown clearly jumping into this water earlier in the movie. So Victoria jumped into this water to escape werewolves, but she was somehow able to smell Bella underwater and swam back?
You saw what happened to Emily. Sam got angry, lost it for a split second, and was standing too close.
What is it with this standing too close bullshit? If Emily had been 100 feet away, would Sam have been able to not turn into a werewolf? Or turn into a wolf, but not start a domestic abuse situation? Seems like the turning into a wolf part of this equation is the problem, not the distance.
You'll never be able to take that back.
Just like everything else that happens in the past.
What if I got mad at you?
Well, I'll be sure to run away the correct distance, whatever the f that is. Seriously? Missed Edward doesn't have anything to say about this?
There's a vampire. I can smell it.
How come you couldn't smell it 2 minutes ago when you drove up to the house? If the movie's being consistent, Jacob should be a werewolf now because they just can't help themselves.
I saw a vision of you. You jumped off a cliff.
So you came to the house? For what reason? And you broke in, too.
I can't see past you and your pack of mutts.
Alice's ability to see the future is clouded when it comes to werewolves. Just because. Why does Jacob pick up the phone at the Swan house? The whole reason is so he can cryptically tell Edward Bella's dad is prepping for a funeral without mentioning who it's for, and so that Edward can break his phone and the movie can continue this ridiculous charade of comparing itself to Romeo and Juliet.
He's gonna make a scene. Show himself to the humans.
No, when?
He's gonna wait until noon.
Phew. He's inadvertently given us just enough time to get there and stop him. Instead of racing to the Volturi, why doesn't Bella jump off a cliff? Or otherwise try and kill herself? Then Mist Edward will show up and he'll realize she's not dead. Case closed. Rather than taking advantage of the long car ride to the city, Alice waits until they arrive and wastes precious seconds doling out much-needed instructions.
Bella, you're the only one he can't see coming.
Well, if she was coming to him by way of dangerous dirt bike ride, he could see her coming, right? At least the Mist version of him could. Instead of screaming or doing something logical, Bella just keeps running toward Edward silently. Nipple bruise.
I just couldn't live in a world where you don't exist.
So again, I ask, what's so special about Bella? Is she going to make the world a better place by sulking in her bedroom, telling people not to give her presents on her birthday, basically being humorless, teasing other dudes because they don't match up to Edward? I mean, had it not been for Alice and Rosalie, he wouldn't have even known her life was in danger. Dakota Fanning isn't being precocious in this scene.
I see nothing.
I know, right? Alice's vision doesn't see the animated singing animals that would accompany this future.
Let us be done with this.
This character represents how we all look and feel while watching this movie. Vampire series once again doesn't show us all the cool shit that happens with stories involving vampires.
I already consider you my sister.
So prospects are not good that these two will make out later?
I already consider you a part of the family.
Oh, you two?
Thanks, it's me keeping you away.
You stay the hell out of my head.
How can Edward poke around in Jacob's head, but Alice can't see the future when it comes to werewolves? Would someone please map out the rules for this series already?
Jacob.
Dear Alice, this f***ing movie is still going on. Can you believe it? Not one pie was f***ed in this movie. Ooh, the Summit logo is all rainy and broody. Clearly, supernatural being decides to use the 100-yard dash technique to kill its victim.
Who's there?
That's the most likely way to gain information about your assailant, that's for sure. Random Forks guy we've never met, who will soon lead an army of vampire newborns, is about as important as the guy who played Santa Claus that one time. Guy running towards the much safer gallery instantly changes his mind to run down an empty alley when the vampire does his worthless Indy 500 routine, the momentum of which has probably taken him into an entirely different zip code by now. Damn, you couldn't have just done that in the first place? Why all the sprints? Camera glides over trees while Bella narrates a Twilight movie cliche. Love.
You know, I've got an English final.
You still go to school? On-screen couple falls in love during filming in real life and still kiss like two dead salmon being smashed together by a fisherman.
Marry me.
Change me.
Female character tells a male character to change her.
At my age. It's the way one says I just got knocked up.
Foreshadowing.
You know, 2 out of 3 marriages end in divorce.
Phony statistic is phony. Travel to amazing destinations like this obviously recently flooded beach. Bella's dad cannot be in a scene without a beer.
You understand why you're being punished, right?
I know, I put you through hell.
Shit, I have completely forgotten what happened in the last movie. Damn. Any other self-respecting bullshit franchise would have the decency to give me a previously on Twilight flashback or something. Jacob did the old strike-through technique when writing this letter, as if those comments were magically not in the letter anymore. I mean, is this guy a snarky internet writer? What an asshole. Also, that's racist. Car won't start because the screenwriter got lazy cliche.
I have.
until graduation to see him.
Everyone watching these movies needs to watch out for manufactured conflict. They use underpaid, overworked laborers and don't follow all the regulations. Last year, manufactured or fake, aka no one gives a shit conflict, caused 233 movies to suck, affecting millions.
Anything is possible if you just believe.
Cliched movie pokes fun at cliches. And for the rest of the day, no one asked Alice what that shit was all about. And she didn't tell anyone. But as soon as Bella decides she wants to see Jacob, she'll open her big fat trap about that.
I did want to see my mom.
Because your mom is super important to this tetralogy of books. The mystery of all the disappearances and killings in Seattle might be more fun, but sure, let's waste time here.
Aren't you gonna miss this?
Yeah, I am gonna miss this.
The sun? Don't you have to actually take some of it in before you can miss it?
I'm just saying, if you go to the University of Alaska, I'm never gonna see you.
Why would Bella go to the University of Alaska? When was this ever discussed? Do they have a great moping program there or something?
Are you sure this is where you saw her?
You've known Alice for centuries, right? What kind of a dumbass question is that? Seriously, where would all the good vampires in this story be if not for the magical cure-all plot device known as Alice's visions of the future? What, are there f***ing wolf guards near the creek or something? Man, if only Bella and Edward's conversations could take place at this speed. Good job, Wolfguard. Be sure to stop the one good guy, but let the evil vampire just waltz into your territory, no problem. You were asleep on the job, Wolfguard. And she's just standing there. She hasn't even moved. Don't tell me there are wolves everywhere making sure vampires don't come into their territory and then have them blank all of a sudden when it comes to a vampire who's just standing out there in the open.
It was really great seeing Mama. It's really hard saying goodbye.
It was an emotional scene that might have made the whole Bella visits her mom thing pay off, even in a small way. Too bad you didn't get to see it.
If you're kind, come on our land again.
Wait, what?
You didn't tell her?
It sounds like no one told anybody anything. Did the werewolves and vampires discuss the fact that they were trying to catch this psycho lady vamp running around? Did the werewolf ball think that the vampire Emmett just wanted to play around in their territory? What kind of stupid shit is this?
She is the one the redhead wants.
Okay, so you do know about Victoria. Seems like this whole territorial thing could have been forgiven in this instance. But sure, let's just keep the segregation alive when tracking down fugitives.
Victoria?
I was trying to protect you.
How does not telling Bella about Victoria protect her in any way? It's not like if Bella starts thinking about Victoria, Victoria suddenly has Bella GPS. It sounds made up so that Edward and Bella can start arguing about shit.
I was trying to protect you.
By lying to me.
Honey, everyone in this story lies. There isn't one of you assholes that isn't fibbing to one of these other assholes about something. Shut the f*** up. Your girlfriend just straddled my motorcycle face. Shirtless boy interlude. Also, drumstick guy, I'm gonna hate you most of all. This woman's face reminds me this series is okay with domestic abuse as long as your man is a werewolf who can't control his anger.
Sam, we good?
We're good. She won't be getting through our line anytime soon.
What, did you build an anti-vampire missile system? A 400-foot-tall, 10-mile perimeter fence? I'm assuming that means you know for a fact that she left your territory, too. And you let her escape because you're awful at this?
We all have to live the Leah, Sam, Emily pain fest.
I'm glad I don't have to live through the Leah, Sam, Emily pain fest, because I have no idea who those characters are. I'm assuming it's those people we just met briefly in the last scene, but I barely know Jacob, Edward, and Bella, and they're the main characters.
Sam imprinted on Emily.
Do I even want to know what that is?
No, none of us do, but it will become a certifiably insane part of the series later.
Imprinting on someone is like when you see her, everything changes.
Definition of word does not adequately define word.
Have you imprinted on someone?
You'd know if I had.
Even by this movie's definition of imprinting, Jacob had obviously imprinted on Bella since back in the first movie. Also, I imprinted on someone once. Tragic case of mistaken identity.
Better you really be dead than one of them. I'm sorry.
And that was the end of the conversation. Must have been an awkward motorcycle ride back home. I hate these movies, but I sure do love this f***ing house.
I don't think it's a Volturi either. I've been watching Yara's decisions too.
So now you can pick and choose what visions of the future you want to have? You can now specifically monitor people's decisions? How is there any conflict anymore the rest of these godforsaken movies?
Whoever it was, he left his stink behind. It'll be hard to miss when we cross it again.
But hot red-headed vampires are impossible to track when they run into your own territory.
Stop! I'm tired of this. From now on, I'm Switzerland, okay?
Right, if Switzerland had been f***ing Winston Churchill while still flirting with Hitler.
I'm tired of this.
Me too. Skip. Haven't been shirtless in a while. Sup. Revenge Frenching.
Hey, beautiful.
Also, you can't have this bitch, Jacob. This is my bitch. You can have my daughter later, though. You can imprint all over her face if you want. Haha, like that will ever happen.
One day, our warriors came across a creature.
This council meeting about a dangerous vampire in town will require a long history to preface it.
The third wife was no magical being, with no special powers but one.
Please don't say courage.
Courage.
She draws blood to distract the vampire. Did she need to stab her stomach to do that? Also, how did she know that stabbing herself would distract the cold woman?
It's not like they already knew about the blood attraction and the whole vampire mythology at this point, right? Right?
No one's trained these newborns, but this isn't random.
Someone's creating an army.
This is honestly worse than just reading the book, I think.
Well, now we're definitely going to Seattle.
Don't forget to visit that market where they throw the fish. Classic.
Maybe they're behind it. In Italy, I read Arrow's mind.
Is this the first f***ing time you've brought this up? These killings have been happening for months. Your vampire clan has been investigating this, using all their bandwidth to try and find Victoria and whoever is responsible. And this key piece of information you've withheld because, I don't know, you're a dick?
And you need to know that I'm in love with you.
Shark Boy loves Lava Girl.
You feel something else for me. You just won't admit it. So I'm not giving up.
Here's a sentence I uttered to a girl once in high school that ended with a deposition. How dare you kiss me face? Edward waited until Jacob and Bella had driven all the way back to her house to confront Jacob about this.
And she broke her hand, punching my face.
In fact, I didn't feel the need to take her to a doctor. And later, neither does Bella's dad. Because in the next scene, Bella's getting care from the family vampire doctor at his own house.
Tough enough to take you on.
This act has gotten super old. That's all Rosalie does is get mad about shit. She's always in the room whenever Bella unknowingly does something to set her off.
You have a choice. I didn't. None of us did, but you do, and you're choosing wrong.
Why does Bella want to become a vampire again? Every single vampire she knows is envious of her non-vampireness and warning her against it. Bella is stubborn to the point of absurdity.
There were things I still wanted. To be married with a nice house and a husband to kiss me when he came home.
Oh God, are we honestly going to have to go through her history now? This movie is 95% flashbacks and Edward and Jacob dick measuring contests. This girl's flashback takes place inside that one painting from Ferris Bueller.
I got my revenge on them, one at a time.
Movie steals Rosalie's backstory from I Spit on Your Grave.
There's nothing I'm ever gonna want more than Edward. You're wrong again. After you've been changed, there's one thing you'll want more.
Jack in the Box?
One thing you'll kill for. Blood.
Did she really need to spell it out and say the word blood?
Decisions.
She's not acting. This is actually footage of Dakota Fanning considering whether or not she should take a role in this franchise. The Volturi do nothing, with the only perceptible reason being that they knew the movie couldn't happen if they killed these rogue vampires right now. So wait, the high school vampires are graduating now? Doesn't that mean the family will have to pick up and move to a new place and re-enroll them as freshmen? Am I remembering the first movie wrong? If I am, honestly, it's amazing I can recall anything about a movie I remember deliberately forgetting. Anna Kendrick is wearing the wrong kind of school uniform in this scene.
Major in philosophy because there's no way to make a career out of that.
Tell that to Kanye West. Hey, let's stick in at least one Asian guy in this shot so we don't look too racist, okay?
I love this song. Let's go.
Musical product placement contains writer requiring character to say, I love this song when said song is played in the movie. These f***ing guys. Man, this movie sure could use a plot kickstart. Oh, shit, there's Alice. Good timing, girl. Also, this vision is being brought to Alice with a 2-month broadcast delay.
You're not going to Seattle.
No. They're coming here. They'll be here in 4 days.
4 f***ing days? Did you not see how fast they were running earlier in the movie? How the f*** does it take 4 days for those assholes to get from Seattle to Forks?
They must be playing with the blind spots in your vision.
Oh, now she has f***ing blind spots in her vision. What happened? Did you run out of ways to create tension completely after creating an omniscient character so that you had to bust her back down a few rungs with newfound limitations?
They were passing around Bella's scent.
Your visions let you see whose scent they were smelling? Your visions are more like actual being theirs than visions.
All need some training.
In 4 days? Damn, even for a Rocky montage, that's not enough time.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Bella, this is what we do.
After such a long pause, I would have taken off some sins right away if you'd have just said, shut the f*** up.
Again!
What? This movie has no clue what kind of training this is. Cut to some dudes being thrown through the air, and that's f***ing training, I guess.
It's a graduation present.
Actually, it's a save your virginity for me werewolf trinket, but semantics. Also, this is the first time Edward notices this.
They want to know how the newborns differ from us.
They're a great deal stronger than us because their own human blood lingers in their tissues.
Fucking what?
A newborn army doesn't need thousands like a human army.
Or a regular vampire army.
Now, the 2 most important things to remember are...
There are only 2 things you need to remember to crush this highly dangerous newborn army.
Never let them get their arms around you. They'll crush you instantly.
Never go for the obvious kill.
Somehow, these 2 things translate into throw me across the forest training.
Never go for the obvious kill.
Because newborn vampires are not only stronger, they're also smarter. Somehow. This scene makes me wonder why they ever wasted time playing baseball. There was so much to learn about vampire fighting.
One more thing. Never turn your back on your enemy.
God damn it, you lazy-ass motherfuckers. Nobody needs to train in the woods for an afternoon to learn never turn your back on your enemy. That's f***ing dumb. Also, he didn't turn his back on Carlisle. He merely stood up, ass. Carlisle attacks him from the f***ing front. Also, even if you were right, and let's be clear, you're way f***ing wrong, but even if you were right, he only got distracted and turned in any direction because you started talking to him. That's a cheat, and you know it, Jasper. If I was a werewolf coming to get training and saw this boyfriend and girlfriend fighting, I would probably have left by now. This is like your everyday fighting montage, but no one has learned shit. Hey, why does the vision-having vampire girl have to practice? Why doesn't she know her opponent's moves 4 days before they happen? Hey, Bella, is this some bullshit or what?
Done for the day.
Everyone in this forest is now dumber for going through this training. Also, what? That was like 30 minutes of training. You have 4 days to fight an uncontrollable army of the dead, but sure, time for Jeopardy, assholes.
This happened during the Civil War?
I was the youngest major in the Texas Cavalry.
Okay, did the first movie not say he was recently turned, or at least new, and that's why he was so compulsively drawn to bite Bella? Or did I dream that shit? If he was turned during the Civil War, there should be no reason he was more tempted to bite Bella than any of the others in the first movie.
Till I met a certain immortal, Maria.
Previously on Jasper the Early Years. Movie steals Jasper's backstory from Homer's Odyssey. Wouldn't red eyeballs be a red flag even in the Civil War era? PDA. The filmmakers were like, people love Bella and Edward. Let's make the third movie all about Jasper. Brilliant.
The newborn army? They're all her puppets.
Edward doesn't immediately kill Bella for playing the pronoun game.
Alice would have seen if she wanted to make an army.
Unless she's hiding behind them, and she's letting someone else decide.
You cannot have a plan, then forcibly remove that plan from your mind. Why can't Alice see the decision to let someone else make the decision? After a scene explicitly about how Victoria must be hiding behind the army and letting someone else decide, thereby explaining the bullshit reason Alice can't see her, movie immediately cuts to Victoria totally not hiding and totally deciding about her newborn army.
Okay, either it's so dangerous that I have to hide, or it's so easy that you're gonna be sidelined. Which is it?
Bella would be excellent at CinemaSins.
The only way I can protect you is to be with you.
As it turns out, that's also the only way you can ensure she doesn't cheat on you.
Your stench, however, is revolting.
Dude, you really don't want to start comparing stinks.
You guys have been measuring stinks for the whole movie. Also, f*** the both of you. I hope the newborns win.
You can love more than one person at a time.
Suggestive swinging.
I can sense how I make you feel. Physically, I make you nervous.
Gross.
All I picked up was wolf stench, no Bella.
Yeah, but she's really, really nervous, though. It's hard to imagine that also didn't transmit through the wolf stench.
I told your father that our whole family is going camping this weekend, so you and I are having a sleepover at my house.
Sleepover at a friend's house is code for I'm doing my boyfriend and we might also try anal. Who knows? For those of you with teen daughters.
Oh my God, Dad? I'm a virgin. I think an air mattress would have sufficed.
Look, I know Bella is humble, but give me a f***ing break with this shit. An air mattress while staying in a mansion? You gotta be shitting me. In other words, it would not have sufficed, Bella.
Yes.
Marriage. Oh man, they dragged poor Bryce Dallas Howard into this, didn't they? Wait, all I really know her from is this movie, Lady in the Water, The Village, Spider-Man 3, and being a famous director's daughter. So I guess, oh man, Bryce Dallas Howard dragged the Twilight franchise into this, didn't she? This has apparently been going on for a while, but Alice couldn't figure out that Victoria was behind this shit. Suddenly, we're supposed to give a shit about the relationship drama of bad vampires. Which reminds me of something. Skip!
It's okay. Don't make yourself uncomfortable.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
Well then, I guess you're finally ready to go all the way with her, aren't you? It's sad that this is the only tent Edward has pitched in this entire series. Why would you hide in such a remote f***ing place? This is like the hardest place for rescuers to get to if you get into trouble. Not to mention bears.
You should have chosen the site lower down.
You think? Also, my question is, since all this fight needed was a little bit of Bella's blood so that the newborns would go crazy, and they took all these precautions to have Jacob's stinky, stinky ass carrying Bella everywhere so that they couldn't find her scent, why she has to be sleeping in the cold at all? Why can't she just be at the Cullen house with Jacob outside the door?
Let's face it. I am hotter than you.
Wah, wah. Also, now it's clear why Bella is lying here in the cold, so they can have a scene where he warms her up with his sexy wolfiness, and Edward can get pissed because he's so cold that Ecuador feels a chill when he walks by.
Keep your hands off her.
Who says my hands are going to be touching her? Loopholes, dude. Wouldn't his twice as big wolf form with a fur coat be better at warming her up?
But she's in love with me, too. She just won't admit it to herself.
I told Anna Kendrick this, but she called the cops and they had to get the fire department to get me out of that tree. Also, this entire conversation takes place right in front of her. Like, she couldn't just be fake sleeping, or never hear a word of this. Now, maybe a baby can sleep through a lot, or a small child, but a recent high school graduate in f***ing freezing temperatures is not sleeping through this entire conversation.
If you'd stayed away another 6 months, I could have made her happy.
If it takes you 6 months, then there's your reason why you didn't get the girl.
But she could still change her mind, you know.
Edward skips the chance to end all this right here by saying she was literally begging me to f*** her last night, bro.
I'm really sorry about last night. It couldn't have been easy on you.
It definitely won't make my list of top 10 favorite evenings.
Oh, come on. If you and Jacob had talked much longer, this would have turned into the movie E tu Mama Tambien.
You're marrying him?
You knew he was listening.
The question is, how did you not know he was listening? If you were in a pantry together, this bastard would magically appear from a pickle jar.
I'm done. I'm so done.
But are you so super very done? Are you triple dog done?
Kiss me. I'm asking you to kiss me.
What? Seriously? Just because Jacob tells the audience that he makes her nervous? And we're supposed to accept that as fact? There hasn't been one visual to confirm that she wants this at all. Just goes to show, guys, if you persist and beg and whine and show tons of angst, you too can finally get the girl. Just takes the slightest bit of harassment and a smidge of emotional blackmail. But that dream girl can be yours.
You love her.
I love you more.
And this story was written by a Mormon? You don't say. Don't go for the obvious kill. Don't go for the obvious kill. Werewolves and screenplays never follow the rules. Army of badass, stronger newborn vampires all go out like little bitches.
She knew we weren't there, but she caught my scent.
You never once considered your own scent an issue? Jesus, man, are you centuries old or are you 10? Wasn't the whole reason for Jacob carrying Bella up the mountain so that all the vampires could smell was Jacob's filthy, filthy body?
Think about it. You're from Forks. You know the area. That's the only reason she chose you.
But she had to wait until you made the trip to Seattle before turning you into a vampire. She knew that time would come at some point. Also, I don't know how she knew you were from Forks when she attacked you, but that's immaterial.
You're dead.
How the f*** did they not smell this wolf? If these movies had told us anything, the stink of a werewolf and a vampire is the equivalent of garbage having sex with sweaty underarms in the back of a rotting cheese factory. Also, lupus ex machina.
You want me to feel the pain you felt when I killed James?
Seriously? That was like 2 movies ago. After kicking this vampire's ass off screen for several minutes, Seth goes into bitch mode and goes limp from one kick from the guy he totally should have eaten a long time ago. Good thing she was around to hear that unnecessary history of the chick who stabbed herself in the abdomen to distract the vampires. Also, Bella proves that the history chick was stupid for stabbing herself in the abdomen by simply cutting herself on the arm and achieving the same goal. Whoa, what has this series done to remotely establish that dead vampires flame up like Kingsford when lit? Nothing? That's what I thought. After somehow staying hidden all this time and right up until this spot in the woods, the Volturi finally show themselves to Alice in advance of their arrival.
Jacob, hold on. Carla's gonna take care of you.
Where the f*** did this guy come from? Female werewolves do not have their shirts off after switching back to their human form. Also, let's be honest, none of these people should have clothes on. I mean, what part of the werewolf is made up of jean shorts?
Hang in there, Jake.
Awesome advice, Bella.
They're coming!
Alice gives a warning about the Volturi, but had no clue about the surprise dickhead who just destroyed Jacob's ribcage a second ago. What we're about to say requires the removal of our hoods in a synchronized fashion.
It appears we missed an entertaining fight.
We all did. Also, just exactly why did you miss this entertaining fight anyway? You've been looking over the shoulder of Riley and Victoria this whole time. How did you not know this was happening? Why are you late? Also, again, werewolf stench should be all over this place. I don't know how vampires even try to lie in this situation.
Doc's for breaking his bones.
Why did he have to butt in? I could have taken that tip.
That's racist.
He's not as perfect as you think.
Guy who nearly died uses few breaths he has to still trash his rival bro. Classic Jacob.
Let's not talk about that.
You've had this discussion about 10 times. I am totally game for you to stop talking about what a terrible vampire Edward is and what a fantastic werewolf Jacob is. Supernatural penis cannot be this complicated.
I'm exactly right for you, Bella.
Jesus. Skip. Bookended love.
This wasn't a choice between you and Jacob. It was between who I should be and who I am.
Oh, did we finally get to the bottom of this? Is the debate over? Is the relationship drama done? So glad to hear it.
Bonus!
Edward?
What she wants. Wait for her to say she will.
Let's take it down a notch.
You're not fighting? What, did you pull a muscle or something?
Whatever. Your stench, however, is revolting.
Dude, you really don't want to start comparing stinks.
What?
Oh, the wolf coming up.
Run.
Whose head is unclear? Let's face it, I am hotter than you. Get your hand off me.
Keep your hands off her.
Don't fight.
If she gets sick, it's on you. You'll warm up soon. Faster if you took your clothes off. Survival 101.
Part 1? Part 1? Sending this movie for officially kicking off Hollywood's fascination with splitting up movie adaptations of final novels in a series, goddammit.
Childhood is not from birth to a certain age.
Are we still freaking talking? Do we need to know Bella's inner thoughts anymore after 3 motherfucking movies? Ugh, this wedding invitation makes me so mad I'm gonna drop it here in the rain so it'll get soaked. So soaked! Oh yeah, that reminds me, my shirt needs to come off. Even when reading his daughter's wedding invitation, this asshole has to have a beer handy. Also, they're getting married? What the hell happened in that last movie again? Oh, fuck it, I don't really care.
I've been breaking them in for 3 days. Can I just go barefoot?
Yeah, it's either high heels or going barefoot. There certainly isn't any other way to get married.
Tomorrow will be perfect.
Movie cuts from invited guests receiving invitations straight to the wedding day, like that isn't done 5 months ahead of time.
What aisle? Does no one have vision?
Character in the movie openly mocks all the directors who took on Twilight films. Bella creates bad luck by seeing the director of Snow White and the Huntsman before the wedding. Wedding Eve, and Bella still has a huge lamp problem. One here turned on, one here turned off, a string on the wall turned off. Then we cut to this shot to see one lamp on and an entire string of lights on as well. What is this girl's issue with light sources? This f***ing guy.
I was just checking for cold feet.
And checking somewhere outside my own shoes. Vampire puns. Also, Edward's vampy sense is tingling. His skin is twinkling. And I think I'm gonna head to the bathroom for a little tinkling.
So for a while, I went off on my own. I wanted to know how it felt to hunt.
So I was definitely watching The Bride of Frankenstein, because that's a popular horror movie that makes sense for the Twilight narrative. I definitely didn't watch A Night at the Opera or The 39 Steps, because f*** the Marx Brothers and f*** Hitchcock. Also, Edward waits until literally the night before the wedding to tell his bride whatever scandalous story this is I've already stopped paying attention to. Also, wasn't Edward changed in 1918? So he decided to rebel from Carlisle after 17 years as a vampire? Or did the filmmakers just want to use Bride of Frankenstein so bad they didn't give a No theater staff appears to be working today in 1935. Those were the days when everything pretty much ran itself.
All the men I killed were monsters.
Movie justifies all the killing Edward has ever done by delivering the caveat that they all deserve to die. God forbid he killed any innocent people to make his character just the slightest bit interesting. Also, Dexter Edward is a way better story than Twilight, but is given 30 seconds of time, while the rest of it is approximately 10 hours.
I looked into their eyes as they died, and I saw who I was.
You've been through so much as a couple that I can't believe this story was withheld until now. Unless it's just because there needed to be some new revelation in the fourth Twilight to alleviate writer's block.
I know I can do this.
What? Be a vampire? Can't anyone do that? What does this sentence even mean? Jesus, skip. Vampire hijinks. Editor accidentally cuts American Beauty into this movie. In Bella's dream pre-wedding, her father is a mere guest, rather than walking her up the aisle or giving her away at the altar.
I could do her hair.
Breaking Dawn Part 1 is like the 7th season of a TV show that used to rule the ratings but started to decline, so they plan a wedding episode to spike ratings for Sweeps Week.
And something old. Besides your mother.
Nice.
And now I get to see why they divorced before the first movie even came out. Fun! Edward and Bella somehow managed to book the super popular wedding spot, wooded area of a million hanging angelic white flowers and beautifulness. Word has it they were competing with Mark Zuckerberg for this booking, and won out at the last second when he decided to just have his own forest planet.
I think Bella's gonna be showing.
Jess, she is not pregnant.
Okay. Who else gets married at 18?
Anna Kendrick is all of the following things here in this scene. Hot, correct, inappropriate, judgmental, selfish, and hot.
You ready?
Well, either the entire audience can hear them from that distance, or else this wedding ceremony somehow gave a silent cue to attendees to stand for the imminent bride arrival. Also, it then takes 2 minutes of actual film time to show Bella walk down the aisle.
Just don't let me fall, Dad.
Never.
Except any of the previous 16 years of your life when I was a total deadbeat alcoholic distant father. Bella's dress is such that it makes the high-heeled training earlier in the movie even dumber, because nobody could even see that anyway. Why is Mom seated right next to her ex-husband? Where's the minor league baseball boyfriend from the first movie? Damn, I was just starting to like that guy.
Richard, poor.
Much like real weddings, I wish I hadn't been invited to this. It was at this point in the ceremony that Rupert Sanders stood up and said, "I have nothing to declare right now, but I think many of you may find me reprehensible a year from now." Movie cut out the part where every single wedding guest had an objection to this union, a scene which was probably amazing, but was cut out strictly for that reason. Edward and Bella's wedding kiss lasts a whole goddamn day. Also, seriously, a standing ovation for the 18-year-old getting married to the guy most people here think is 17, but is actually 110?
Well, I plan on getting drunk.
Well, I am not surprised to hear you say that, Dad, who always has a beer in his hand anyway. Maggie Grace isn't in some convoluted plot involving being taken in this scene. 90 seconds of mostly inappropriate toasts montage.
Jacob!
How the f does she know who that is at shirt-wearing distance?
Dance with me?
Your alternate lover just outside the reception of your wedding to a dude I f***ing hate? Also, it's part 1 of a popular book series adaptation, so of course, time to make time for best friends dancing.
It's weird to be back on 2 legs again. And clothes.
This is exactly what my college girlfriend said to me after a particularly...
This is how I'm gonna remember you.
Crying in formal wear and promising yourself forever to my sworn enemy. Yeah, this is a f***ing utopian image right here.
Didn't really want to spend my honeymoon writhing in pain.
Who says you have to honeymoon directly after the wedding? Why can't you get changed into a vampire and then have the honeymoon after you've calmed down? The power of lady boners causes the stupidest plot development ever, and we're gonna have to suffer through 2 movies because of it.
No, you can't do this.
The emotional control of these assholes is hepatitis C for the plot. This easily could have been a calm discussion about how vampire boning could kill her, and the supernatural world would flip its shit. Instead, Jacob can't control his wolf temper. It's been 4 minutes since I've written a sin about this movie. I think it's either because I fell asleep or nothing happened in those 4 minutes. Anyway, I think I'll just add a sin because this movie is definitely representative of sloth. Oh, shut your f***ing whining, Jacob. Vampire movie just can't resist stomping a bit more on the religious folk among us. Also, I guess the metaphor here is that Bella is Jesus, sacrificing her virginity for the sake of... Wait, and if 30 minutes of a wedding weren't enough, how about 30 minutes of a honeymoon? That's exciting, right? With this movie being PG-13, I bet the sex will be more amazing than anything we saw in Finding Nemo. This newlywed bride didn't shave her legs until arriving at the honeymoon suite. And hey, I'm all for women doing whatever they want with their leg hair, but she clearly thinks shaved is the way to go, so I'm sending her for waiting until now to do something about her leg hair situation. She got married with stubble. The sex is not more amazing than anything we saw in Finding Nemo. Also, vampire-human sexual tension waits until the fourth goddamn movie to even remotely relieve said sexual tension. Yeah, well, you should see what her vagina looks like.
I can't tell you how sorry I am.
Didn't you already know what the risks of vampire-human coitus was going to be before you acted upon said coitus? I mean, is this even an issue? This seems like made-up bullshit to make the movie longer.
I know it's not the same for you, but for a human, I can't imagine that it gets any better than that.
Said the girl who just had sex for the first time. Also, I'm not buying that the ferocious vampire sex was so mind-blowing to this virgin that she was able to see past the pain and somehow had 50 orgasms. Honeymoon, let's play chess! I mean, right? No one will be seated during the Bella and Edward play chess a second time scene. Blah blah blah, third time, blah blah chess.
Well, he's either gonna kill her or change her. And the treaty says...
I say, Jacob.
Have you guys not had this conversation already? Or is this just some bullshit repeated argument you've been having for several months now? If Jacob would just go find a girlfriend, I don't think this would be a problem.
Would you just get over it? It's not like you imprinted on her.
Jesus, you kiss your mother with that mouth? Okay, props to Bella for being imaginative with what she has on hand, but she is currently doing some kind of cooking with restaurant takeout, chicken pieces, peanut butter, and yogurt. In other words, what the f does she think she's making? Obvious salmonella catches a huge break and hides behind Bella's coincidental morning sickness.
Is this even possible?
Is this a serious question? What if Carlisle says no? I sure am glad they decided to show the exciting packing scene with Edward doing his vampire shit. It sure beats not seeing a packing scene at all and just going straight to the Cullen house so we can figure out if Bella really is pregnant right now. We'd be lost without this packing scene, I tell you. Thankfully for everyone in this story, this honeymoon island housekeeper knows just enough legend to come in handy during the human-vampire pregnancy no one thought was possible. Movie continues to have a fantastic sense of humor in the face of a ridiculous plot.
She's here? They came home 2 weeks ago.
What the f? This movie doesn't give two shits if I have any idea what shit is taking place when.
I can't see it either, and I can't see Bella's future anymore.
Well, that's convenient in a plot sense, even if it's inconvenient in a character sense.
The fetus isn't good for Bella. Say the word, Alice. Baby. It's just a little baby.
Abortion debate somehow makes its way into part 4 of vampire movie series. An hour into this fucking movie and we've had a wedding, a sudden pregnancy, and now some wolf vampire tension. That's an hour I'll never get back.
Though I can't figure out why he thinks you'd listen to me. I mean, you never have before.
Because you have constantly tried to get in her pants and everything you've said has directed her toward that goal. And even when you're being serious, you flare up into wolf mode so fast that you can't get a damn thought out without being Jack Torrance from The Shining.
And when you die, what was the point of me loving you, you loving him? How was that right for anyone?
First off, it wasn't right for anyone, especially the audience, even if she lives, asshole. Second off, who cares what her death means to the love triangle? It's like me saying, what was my purpose on Earth if the sun's going to blow up in 4 billion years? Man, this bike. I'm wolfing at home. Also, time to wolf out and run through the woods and review everything that I've heard about Bella's condition so far. Sometimes a good wolfing can clear out your mind. With this exercise, I once stumbled on a really good pasta recipe, so this should definitely figure out Bella's vampire kid problem. So what, were all the members of Jacob's tribe currently in their wolf form when they heard him howling? Were they just kicking back being wolfy, just in case someone gave him a call?
It's unnatural! Dangerous! Monstrosity! An abomination!
Did Jacob's howl tell them all they needed to know about the vampire kid? And why did Jacob tell them anything about it if he knew the other wolves would be pissed and want to kill Bella? I mean, even if he thinks they'll only want the kid, she might be dead giving birth to it, so what was his endgame here?
You mean kill Bella?
Her choice affects us all.
Her choice to get pregnant on accident, or her choice to keep the baby? This movie really wants to talk about abortion, doesn't it? Also, I know there are a lot of people out there who love Twilight. We're not going to judge, but you've got to admit the scene where the wolves speak telepathically in English to each other is one of the stupidest things ever committed to film.
I am the grandson of Ephraim Black.
I guess this means something. Does that mean something? Will someone please explain to me if that means something? Okay, there's still like 6 or so wolves here who do follow Sam, so can't they just tackle Jacob and put him in wolf prison? Then plan their attack? Why are they allowing this? Because he yelled? Jacob is rebelling against his tribe and running into the woods toward some unknown goal, but still took the time to get a proper human shirt and pants for some reason.
Get ready.
Why did Jacob and Edward bother with this weird long-distance supernatural talk, instead of just inviting him back in? Was this some other stupid power they wanted to show off? Hey guys, we can talk normally at great distances.
Did Sam send you?
Sam doesn't even know I left.
How is that even possible?
I think he just figured it out.
Seriously, just now?
Being unwanted isn't exactly a new thing for me.
Movie expects me to remember some sort of backstory about this character that was briefly mentioned in the first movie, and she wasn't even introduced on screen until the last movie. And looking back at our sins from that movie, we didn't even really know who she was then either. So, f it. Yahoo! Of course, even though no one knows what the hell's going on, the internet is your one-click stop to learn about all that shit in one sitting. These movies get more and more annoying as they go along, but damn if I don't still really covet that house. Jesus, it's f***ing rad.
I can't live without you.
Actually, you are the very definition of someone who can live without her.
Do you honestly think that I could love it? Or even tolerate it if it killed you?
Wow, Edward is the worst father ever, and this kid isn't even born yet. Okay, we get it. She looks awful. Make a decision already. Why can't they just go ahead and somehow C-section this baby out of her at this point? The baby is clearly so strong it doesn't need to follow normal pregnancy protocol, so why does she feel like she needs to carry this demon spawn to term? Plus this, watching the USC-Washington game in 2011 when it extra didn't matter.
I could only see the fetus, the baby. Maybe I could figure out what it wants.
Jesus, are you serious? It wants out!
I have some more negative later side from Bella.
Why didn't you try to do this before? Why have you been sitting on this until she looked like the zombie apocalypse to finally suggest the idea? They put the blood in the styrofoam cup with a straw. I'm seriously not able to stop laughing about this.
Tastes.
Oh my god, the suspense. Does it taste bad or good? I'm on pins and...
Good.
Ah, that's better.
He's happy.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course you are. The past 30 minutes of this movie have been 1,000 laughs.
Thought he was like me, but he's not. He's like you. Good. Pure.
Good and pure? That's not like either of you.
What do you hear now?
He loves you, Bella.
Can you also not figure out that this he is a girl yet, since she's telling you every f***ing thing else?
So that's the last of it?
I realize they didn't plan for a sudden vampire pregnancy, but Jesus, they only had a few days worth of blood on hand?
Carlisle, you're the enemy now. Sam won't hesitate. You will be slaughtered.
Jacob is so certain that Carlisle and most of his vampire crew would be slaughtered in any fight with the wolves, I don't understand why Sam hasn't gone full home invasion on the Cullens. In fact, why haven't the werewolves done something like start a fire to smoke them out? This waiting game seems kinda stupid to me. Also, this is the most nothingest ever happensest f***ing movie I've ever seen-sest. Why are these wolves so hell-bent on killing Bella's unborn child again? I mean, it's at best a half-human, half-vampire thing, right? How is that any scarier or more threatening than the pack of vampires living in your region that you've already made peace with? Jacob sets up a distraction for the other wolves so that Carlisle can run through the woods with minimal werewolf resistance. But how does he know that when he randomly walks into the woods, enough of the wolves will come to talk to him? Meanwhile, these wolves hear something, but decide not to tell their wolf counterparts that there's some shit going down they might want to check out. The vampires we've seen in these movies are like the f***ing Flash, but here, these vampires run kinda fast, which is just slow enough to get run down by werewolves. Now, how in the world did you two f*** this up?
You played us!
And in response, we'll all just run away.
If it's a boy, EJ, Edward Jacob.
Oh, jolly good, Governor. What do you say, Albus Severus Potter, old chap? Bella drops a cup and some bullshit happens. So with absolutely no doctor on the premises, a shot of morphine, and an attempted late-term murder abortion, everything's just cool now? It's almost like they were able to press fast forward to somehow avoid all complications of vampire demon baby birthing. Also, did somebody cut the umbilical cord? Because I do not think somebody cut the umbilical cord. Scene intended to be touching contains super bloody baby.
Bella!
Yeah, better just go straight to the CPR without checking her breathing or her consciousness. By the way, Jacob, are you trained for this type of thing?
Jacob, take the baby. Keep that away from me.
Yeah, I only want to save the mother of that creature I despise, not the creature itself, dumbass.
I'll take her. I promise I'm okay. Let me.
Okay, girl who nearly murdered this kid just 1 minute ago. I guess I can trust you since the plot demands it. I can't wait to give you my baby.
What is that? It's my venom.
Which I just happen to have lying around in a syringe in this drawer.
I won't kill you. You deserve to live with this.
This seems like the perfect time to have this conversation, while Bella's life hangs in the balance. So, did biting her wrists and ankles cause this, or did the giant needle full of his venom do it? Why is the venom only working now? Did the venom know it needed to act in such a way that it would be dramatic for the audience? Why is she cool now? Also, why is no one watching her? It's like Jasper and Alice decided to go to the room and have sex, because nothing makes sex better than complicated birth that could kill the mother. Digital baby is absolutely f***ing creepy. Jacob will now imprint on this CGI demon baby, which is still one of the creepiest things about this series, because it's both parental and future mate stuff. So one can't help but wonder what it would be like to protect a baby so that you can f*** it in 18 years, which just no one should have to ponder that. Also, Jacob imprints on a f***ing baby. He just fell in love with a baby. I just want everyone to know Jacob fell in love with a baby. I don't care if that means they'll just be friends or he'll be her protector or whatever the f*** they want to do to justify this shit. He just fell in love with a baby. Also, why? Why is this the way imprinting works for Jacob? Does he not have any control over it? He had absolutely crazy feelings for Bella, but it never happened. Now he sees a digital child and he's suddenly wolf goo.
A friend, a brother, protection.
Yeah, but imprinting, as discussed by the movies themselves, have always suggested that one day you will bang. Oh, there they are, fresh from whatever movies they were shooting other than this one to finally get back into the action. Carlisle and Esme Ex Machina. Everything's so dark, who cares what happens? Also, werewolves had no idea they have sharp teeth and claws, opting to go with tackling and menacing. I mean, these werewolves are awful fighters. Jacob all but predicted a slaughter a minute ago. They're terrible and stupid, and I want to go home.
Whoever a wolf imprints on can't be harmed. It's their most absolute law.
It is? That's dumb. Why not wolf not kill wolf? Or wolf together strong? Stupid imprinting. Stupid Jacob. Somebody should write a law about imprinting on vampire children. Too late now. Stupid imprinting. Well, some undead body needs a sandwich. Why is this taking so long? A minute ago we saw the venom working and its magic bringing her back to life. Now there's a waiting process like we're at the DMV or some Also, when I was turned, it was nearly instantaneous. Wait, I may have said too much. Previously on all the Twilights. Eye-opening cliffhanger cliche. God damn, this movie has 13 minutes of credits. This mid-credits scene serves solely to tell us that Carlisle let the Volturi know Bella's been turned, and that the Volturi are still evil, which enhances my enjoyment of this movie and its credits -12. Also, to recap, Bella and Edward got married, played some chess, had rough sex resulting in a fetus, everyone waited around a long-ass time at the Cullen house, then the baby was born, and Jacob has some weird sexual, non-sexual tie to it. The end? Jesus, that's like 5 pages of script for f***'s sake. It's not a fucking Twilight movie without a motherfucking helicopter shot over some motherfucking woods. Part 2, movie that will credit all the people who have ever been into Twilight at the end of the movie, still wastes our time with opening credits. Also, this is the first time in the entire series that any movie has done this, so it's almost like an implicit message to the audience. We really don't have that much to show you in part 2, but thanks for making us rich. Movie picks up where the last movie's halfway point should have been. 3 minutes in and I'm already I totally skipped and it landed on something else I'm gonna have to skip.
You need to get your thirst under control.
Bella only realizes thirst is a problem after Edward tells her about it. Somehow, in 5 movies, the vampire running fast through the woods effects have gotten worse. Wait, I get that she's able to see things slower than real time, even while running, but this blossoming dandelion shot actually goes against that idea, suggesting that she's running super slow and seeing a full flower bloom in the time it takes her to pass. Movie shows Bella spotting a scary, ugly spiderweb in her path, but then acts as though she did not end up with a spider in her mouth just by skipping past the aftermath to more forest running. Newlywed vampire forest race, goddammit. Also, Edward and Bella refuse to put on proper running wear before going out into the woods to hunt. Shitty CGI looks less shitty when you place the camera so far above the action that the CGI becomes tiny. What is this? CGI for ants! Bella senses this rock climber nearby way before Edward does. And yeah, I know he said a second ago that she's stronger than him right now, but she's got a better nose 5 minutes into vampirism than he does? As if in response to his possible death, Climber slips and scratches himself right at the time Bella's thirst for blood hits its tipping point. Cougar shows up so that Bella doesn't have to kill the deer and her innocence is maintained. Let me say though, there are times she's going to have to kill a puppy. Just because she got bailed out this once doesn't make her innocent for all time. Also, just because the deer eats grass doesn't mean it's not an asshole. And how do we know this cougar wasn't going to eat the Twilight serial killer in a few years? Now that serial killer's going to go free.
You ran away from human blood mid-hunt. Even mature vampires have problems with that.
Why is she so special that she could avoid the pratfalls of new vampire thirst so easily? Also, you just tackled a mountain lion and killed it with your teeth. No blood on your mouth, your face, your dress, your hands, and that's literally not possible.
Since when do you care about Renesmee?
Yeah, I better not get into that yet, but I'm assuming the FBI will be showing up to Jacob's door soon. Oh, they'll be instantly slaughtered by a werewolf when they show, but that's not the point.
Welcome to the family.
Everyone was concerned about Bella when she nearly died, but apparently they decided to wait until after she was done hunting before saying one word to her. Digital Kid continues to be an abomination in part 2. I don't care how good a person she is, that's just a bunch of ones and zeros pretending to be happy as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Jesus, could they not get a real baby to giggle for 3 seconds for this shot?
It's a wolf thing.
What's a wolf thing?
Bella, I know you nearly died, but shut the f*** up.
You imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
She's a baby!
It's not like that.
Well, so far, from what these movies have shown us, yeah, it kinda seems just like that. No matter what, can we just agree that this premature imprintulation is creepy?
From the beginning, it was Nessie who wanted me there.
Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Props to Bella for saying this before I could have a chance to. But this super angry dramatic line reading is completely neutered by the ridiculousness of the actual words being said. Also, Bella makes an insane leap and assumes Nessie can only mean Loch Ness Monster. And judging by Jacob's reaction, she's right. And how does she know he didn't nickname the baby after Elliot Ness or Nestor Carbonell from Lost?
Finally.
Finally? Finally what? What the hell is this scene? This scene couldn't be more out of context if Bill Condon dropped a scene of Dreamgirls in its place.
Happy birthday.
I stopped aging 3 days ago.
God, Bella is 100% killjoy.
We thought you guys might like a place of your own.
So, did they build this house, or did they make a good deal with a witch from Hansel and Gretel? Was there an existing hermit house here in the woods and they snapped it up before someone could claim squatting rights?
What do you think?
I think it's perfect.
You've seen it for all of 3 seconds, from the outside. Yep, 10,000 light sources in here. Perfect starter home for Bella. Yeah, let's allow those dangerous candles throughout the house to burn while we go have some more fantastic PG-13 sex.
This will be Renesmee's room.
I certainly hope so, because I'm not sleeping in a crib with you.
This is our room.
Man, do you know how badly I want one of these books on the mantle behind him to be Vampirism for Dummies, or What to Expect When You're Expecting? Now I'm wondering, the last time they had sex, Edward broke the bed. So does the bed not break because Bella is a vampire now? Because that is an extremely specific vampire power right there. Vampire sex montage. Also, whether you realize it or not, you're witnessing the scenes that gave birth to 50 Shades of Grey. I love how vampires don't need to eat or sleep or do much of anything humans do, except for sex. Then that it's extra amazeballs. Hey, we just had amazing mind-blowing sex. Let's lie down next to the fire even though we don't need warmth.
You really were holding back before.
Yeah, that sex we just saw was absolutely the most violent series of dissolves I ever watched. That was intense. I imprinted on my best friend's newborn daughter sandwich.
Initially, we'll have to tell him you didn't make it.
Why can't you just say you got some colored contacts and when the time comes, seemingly don't age because you found miracle cream? The best option is to break your dad's heart forever.
Look, I solved a problem.
And that's how that scene ended, with Charlie having no questions for Jacob at all. He just kept chopping wood after that.
He'll be here in 10 minutes.
Bella's dad decided to wait long enough to come here, just so we can have this scene, and Bella could get some half-ass human training.
They'll irritate your eyes at first.
Why does she need to go through any subterfuge at this point? Didn't Jacob just tell Charlie about being a werewolf? Isn't he expecting the supernatural at this point? Oh, f***ing come on! Like she needs to practice doing normal things just because she's a vampire? Are you telling me she's been flash running this whole time and hasn't taken a normal step since she changed? Because you're f***ing lying to me!
Just don't forget to move your shoulders so it looks like you're breathing.
Man, you guys way overestimate the human capacity to notice human things. If she doesn't do these things, will Charlie immediately snap his fingers, point to Bella, and say, "Vampire, j'accuse!"
Okay, I got it. Move around, blink, slouch.
Kristen Stewart's acting class, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't turn into an animal too, do you?
My question is, when she says no, then what is his next leap of logic? Why would Jacob turn into a werewolf in front of him unless the implication was vampire or Frankenstein's monster or customer service rep at Comcast?
Well, not gonna lose you again. I can't.
Oh, then you won't. I promise.
Unkeepable promises.
I missed you, Bells. So much.
Touching father-daughter hug scene somehow does not contain a beer. Charlie doesn't immediately vomit and run through the plate glass window screaming after seeing this baby because its face looks less real than that microbot baby face god in Matrix Revolutions.
Right. The adoption.
I think once Jacob tells you that werewolves exist, you as a cop should be able to figure this out with no problem. I mean, I didn't even watch the last 4 movies, and I figured this out. Arm wrestling. Also, Bella is apparently stronger because the movie says she is. That reason is immensely satisfying. Bella now appears fully committed to sparkle motion.
My time as a human was over, but I never felt more alive.
Vampiriny. Jacob's bikes always seem to need fixing, which suggests to me that Jacob is terrible at fixing bikes.
Edward thinks that we'll find answers in Brazil.
He knows a street fighter there by the name of Blanca. The guy is just electric. What the f*** is she doing here? I'll tell you what, though. Anything to kickstart the plot is fine by me at this point. Also, Maggie Grace isn't my undead girlfriend in this scene. Renesmee is the most important character in this story, but so far all we've seen is her growing fast and jumping really high. Isn't it about time we got to know her, so we care whether she lives or dies?
She's family. She'll come around.
Well, that's enough plot-related chatter. Let's stop the movie to play the piano. When it comes down to it, this shot represents all the time this bullshit movie series is wasted over the years. Chess and piano, together at last. You mean you didn't have this vision as soon as Maggie Grace saw Renesmee? Because that's when I would have had it. It isn't a Twilight movie if a member of the Cullen household doesn't drop something breakable on the floor. This speed over to somebody bullshit is so unnecessary and has gotten so old it's already imprinted on Jacob and Renesmee's future child.
Irina thinks Renesmee is an immortal child.
Wait, are we going to learn some new thing about vampire rules in the 5th movie of the series? Oh, we are going to learn some new thing about vampire rules in the 5th movie of the series. Anytime one of these modern vampire movies flashes back to primitive village bullshit, I gotta admit, I tune out faster than a dad at a Bieber concert. This real woman is made of Barbie parts. Why does fire kill the so-called immortal child? Also, man, good thing this baby is super flammable. What the f*** did I just say?
So we fight.
Their offensive weapons are too powerful.
You've gotta love these scenes that seem like they were written for the sole purpose of giving everyone at least one line so they can tell their friends they were in the movie. You see? I helped.
Carla, we have friends all around the world.
I won't ask them to fight.
Not fight. Witness.
Oh, good. So now the movie's plot hinges on eyewitness testimony. I can't wait to see the exciting scenes of people telling the truth.
Gather as many witnesses as you can before the snow sticks to the ground. That's when they'll come.
Because their need to exact justice on you for having an illegal kid is contingent upon arbitrary weather conditions.
Alice's instructions were clear, but
Shut the f*** up, Bella.
Why would she and Jasper leave at the moment we needed them most?
The question I would ask is why would they leave at the moment you need them most and not say anything about where they're going? Also, you know who won the most during the filming of the Twilight series? People who own helicopters. Right now, they're taking Renesmee around like some sort of vampire equivalent to Jesus, where every Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John will bear witness to the fact that Renesmee is a cute little girl who doesn't eat people. That's the plot right now, folks. I didn't make this shit up.
It's true. She was born while I was still human.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, then, if you've never heard of it, it must be bullshit, right?
This is how she communicates.
What? She was using English language words in the car a second ago. We're now getting into the Avengepires portion of the Twilight story. We knew they had a few powers, like seeing the future or reading minds, to all of them having the power of Quicksilver, which was all silly but made some sense. But now they can control the elements? Is Nick Fury lurking around? Aquavamp. Movie rips off the Vulcan mind meld from Star Trek. Birds flying away signal something ominous cliche.
Who are they?
Santa and Zafrina from the Amazon.
You know, Wonder Woman's friends.
Even the Beatles? Really, Garrett?
Emmett and Rosalie find a fellow vampire in a random stretch of city, just because.
As more vampires set foot in their territory, more Quileads turned, their nature compelling them to join the pack.
You mean like spontaneous combustion? Also, it sure is a good thing Jacob happens to be around to hold their hands into this transition. I thought he was busy doing other but apparently he can just hang out in the woods waiting for random wolf outs.
I'll be in the attic.
What an asshole.
Safrina had power over the mind.
We called her Professor 10 for legal purposes. Discount vampire Tyra Banks. She's fierce, y'all.
She could make anyone see what she wanted them to.
And yet, all the rest of this movie is allowed to happen.
It's a defensive talent.
That's why I couldn't read your mind even before.
But before, she wasn't a vampire, so you.
Whoever's coming wasn't invited.
I know that because I can sense uninvited. Also, I don't think those chicks from the Amazon were invited either. No one got all wolfy when they showed up. Whoopa.
Apparently he always pardons one person whose thoughts he claims are repentant.
This person always has an ability, and they're always given a place with the guard.
Couldn't you have slow-dripped some of this exposition last f***ing movie when nothing was happening?
He has no one like her.
Which is why she left.
Why does he need witnesses?
See, Grandma Lutz? I totally set a line and everything.
Packs will fight. We've never been afraid of vampires.
The werewolves got their asses kicked in the last fight we saw with vampires, but that's because the plot demanded it, I think. These assholes are just wasting a whole bunch of time killing one Carlisle recruit in London. Why aren't they in Seattle already? While all of this beats Edward argues with Bella over Jacob's abs, which is how I've come to understand the plot over the years, this vampire X-Men feels so made up at the last minute I can't even enjoy it. Also, for the movie's purposes, honing Bella's shield ability will take one training session out in the woods.
Alice made sure only I would get the message, because only my mind would be safe for Morrow.
So why didn't she just tell you all the shit she was going to do in the first place? Also, Alice basically hoped Bella would be curious enough to check the Merchant of Venice for a major clue, and that no one else would notice a torn page clue, and any number of other complications that could have prevented Bella from figuring this shit out, but f*** it.
You've grown half a foot.
Bella, who was determined to do everything to fool her dad about her vampire identity, brings an 11-year-old child who should only be several months old to his house, and doesn't wear those contacts that made him believe she still had brown eyes. If the concern is that a human knows about the existence of vampires, shouldn't all these clues count?
Alice's note gave me a new sense of hope.
How do you like that, Star Wars fans? They just dragged a new hope into this, didn't they? Also, shut up, Bella.
And maybe Jade Jenks was the key.
Don't you mean Christian Grey? And now she does have her natural eye color. Did she pop those contacts in during the drive here? Holy shit, speaking of which, they just dragged Wendell Pierce into this, didn't they? Was he trying to balance out the quality of his resume after The Wire? Well, that was the end of a scene. Time for another shot of a lonely car driving down the road.
Alice's vision was clear. Renesmee would have a future, but Edward and I wouldn't be a part of it.
Of course, until her vision is absolutely proven wrong again.
I know now why Alice left me clues.
You do? Snow sticking to the ground and still no Volturi. Damn, the director and the set decorator had a clear dispute regarding how much Christmas this house needed. And hey, there's her natural eye color again. She just can't decide who she's fooling when, can she? Why do these supernatural beings need a fire again? We saw Jacob and Edward compare dicks in a snowy tent back in Twilight Eclipse, and they were totally fine.
Pre-battle bonfire. Telling war stories.
This would have been a bad enough line on its own, but then that's exactly what happens.
We've been waiting 1,500 years to return that favor.
Which means they'll die like bitches in the big battle tomorrow. What is the deal with this campfire scene anyway? Why did they come out here to do this? Later the Volturi just show up wherever you are. So you could have slept in your nice amazing house, then trekked down to the open field the day of the fight, right? And they haven't roasted one marshmallow. Not one, I tell you.
Carlisle, I've never thanked you.
You haven't? In like 100 years? I knew you were an asshole, but Jesus. What is the point of this arrival timing? It's like saying to the enemy, yeah, we had the element of surprise, and we don't even need that shit. Why weren't these wolves just out in the field with the vamps if they were going to reveal their participation in the battle ahead of it? Sun Tzu is rolling over in his grave. Wow, they stopped really far away. I mean, I know they can hear super awesome, but why even walk this far if you're going to stop halfway across the field anyway? Why not just chat from the first area where you ended the clearing?
We see the child. Do not treat us as fools.
Earlier, Carmen said she could feel the warm blood pumping through her veins. Does this guy not? Can this even be classified as a dispute? Hey, Bill, I got an idea. We can fill a lot of time just by having people walk from one side to the other. And we can film each one walking in real time. And none of that editing bullshit. It's genius, I tell you. Aro has a stroke, but because he's a vampire, the only symptom is what a cat sounds like when it experiments with anal. Also, it should be noted, and this can't be stressed enough, that Michael Sheen is a trained actor who graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art.
Half mortal. Half immortal.
This is a contradiction in terms. It's like saying half pregnant, half not pregnant. You either are or you aren't, man. Get with the times. Jesus, Jacob, shut the f*** up. Nobody likes you.
Is that the child you saw?
This is why you ask questions first before you go telling everyone you've seen some you didn't really see. Are we supposed to feel bad for this chick? And when is Liam Neeson gonna save her already? Thus kicks off a battle that is not actually happening at all, and is a huge cheat. It's like, we have two ideas, we just can't decide between the two of them, so let's do both. Aro is kicked far away from his army, but somehow lands in the middle of his army. The movie expects me to believe that a guy who can't even play baseball correctly can kick these two vampires' asses. Because none of this is real, movie steals the everybody dies scene from all the Final Destinations. Battle bull. This is a shot of a CGI wolf attacking a stuntman. What is the point of battle if she can just mine people to death? This is suddenly Twilight Heroes Reborn: The Age of Ultron. Looking in the background, it appears these wolves are actually winning some battles, which makes me wonder what the hell they were doing in the last movie. Oh no, not... Wait, which one was that? Was it Brownie? I think it was Oh, I don't f***ing care. Dude punches an earthquake to life, which no one was prepared for, but it somehow instantly sways all the skirmishes in this battle to the Cullens' favor. Yes, sadly, the Wilhelms succumbed to vampires over the years. They're f***ing everywhere, man. This is one of those times where I want to write a sin, where I snore, and pretend to wake up and ask if I missed anything, but with this movie, I could literally do that and not miss a thing, because basically this entire climax is a f***ing vision. What the hell are you hanging on to? It's f***ing ice. Even in a world with vampires and werewolves, physics tells us that this wolf should have killed these two and himself with that move, but somehow she survives. Slow motion sacrifice wolf. Also, why is there f***ing lava 200 feet below the surface? Okay, so Bella is blocking her from brain painting Alice, but why doesn't she brain paint Bella in that case? See? Told you. Out like bitches. I could write a better script than this by taping a pen to my Johnson and just flopping it around on a legal pad for a few minutes. Well, maybe if you'd been fighting all along, none of your friends would have died, huh? Again, this movie is a f*** you to the art of war. I'm telling you right now, if any of these shots lasted longer than 2 seconds, watching the people fight in the background would be an appalling experience. I mean, who are these people? And what are they really doing? They're background fodder. But the good guys only had 27 people, and the bad guys had like 100. But who knows who's really winning? As long as the main good guys win their fights, I guess we're golden. Why? Since when? Movie goes the Newhart Roseanne route for hilarious carpet pulling it was all a dream finale. Yep. 5 movies of build up to a huge climactic battle that doesn't actually happen. And so, the last 8 minutes didn't happen. So all that clapping you did when you saw Dakota Fanning getting her head pulled off, you take that back, fans. Also, what a very specific vision Alice just gave to Aro. Like, he apparently saw it with all the different cuts and camera angles and the meaningful close-ups. And since f***ing when have Alice's visions ever been this long, detailed, and fully HD? Also, this is gonna prevent Aro from attacking them. But just before this, didn't Alice say,
It doesn't matter what I show you.
So either she had a vision of herself saying that it was wrong, or she said that just before the vision and she was still wrong. So why should anyone take the vision at face value? And couldn't Aro use the vision to now not make the mistakes he made in the vision?
But what if you were sure she could remain concealed from the human world? Could we live in peace?
Of course, but that cannot be known.
Actually, it can.
These assholes who can reassure Aro that Renesmee poses no threat show up way late for some reason, as if the script demanded it for dramatic purposes. Hell, Alice didn't even need to give Aro a vision if they had these dickheads waiting in the wings. Be sure to capture the entire walk, assholes. We'll wait. We'll f***ing wait. Also, were they not going to fight if a fight happened? Were those two alone going to provide a second wave? This movie likes dramatic entrances way the hell more than common sense.
Raised me as her own. I made her immortal.
Why the f*** did you do that? Were you born thirsting for human blood? Because Renesmee wasn't. You had no one to train you, and you turned your aunt into a vampire who definitely didn't have any training, and Jesus, what a bunch of bullshit this is.
And your diet?
Blood? Human food? I can survive on either.
So, human food then?
Regardless, the Cullens have been consorting with werewolves, our natural enemies.
That's been all 5 movies though, right? This guy wants a fight so bad he's grasping at straws. But they sparkle! By the way, this totally also disproves Alice's earlier vision about Bella and Edward being unable to live happily ever after with their kid. So she was totally wrong about everything, but happy ending nonetheless.
You're all fools!
Alice should show these guys the part of her magic vision where they're diced to pieces.
I'm glad she has you.
But Jacob's still gonna age and die way before her, right? Is this series stated that wolves live forever too? If it has, oh, f*** it.
Should I start calling you Dad?
See? Jacob, you are already thinking about banging a 7-year-old, and I'm baffled the movie thought this needed including, even if the book did. This is some repugnant shit. Also, Edward doesn't behead him for saying this. Is this vision ironically telling us that one day they won't be together? It is coming from Alice, after all. F*** me. This is the end of the movie and the series. Skip Oh Good, another previously on all the Twilights, for the 2nd straight movie.
Nobody's ever loved anybody as much as I love you.
You.
You show me again?
Edward Cullen wants to see all the Twilights again. Now starting a 13-minute marathon of credits, including a reminder that Wendell Pierce actually spent his time working on this movie. Oh, the humanity.
A cranky slayer is a careless slayer.
It wasn't over for me. I waited for you for 7 years.
It wasn't over.
I spent half the night talking to some girl who's looking around the room to see if there's somebody else who's more important she should be talking to. And it's like I'm supposed to be all happy because she's wearing a backpack.
Do the Cullens visit often?
Use the Force, Luke.
I can't see past you and your pack of mutts.
Don't get me upset.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Go! Go! Get into the tree! Go, go, go! Oh, Jesus, they're right on us! Don't look back!
I mean, they thought it would be good for you to hear the histories.
Histories?
Show them the historical documents.
And you need to know that I'm in love with you.
Johnny loves Chachi!
But I've something to tell everybody. I've glimpsed our future. And all I can say is, go back.
But I was her puppet. She pulled the strings.
Pull the string! Pull the string!
I don't know.
Sure you do. You just don't want to tell me.
You gonna use one of your Jedi mind tricks on me?
They only work on the weak-minded.
Sometimes you think you have true love, and then you catch the early flight home from San Diego, and a couple of nude people jump out of your bathroom blindfolded like a goddamn magic show, ready to double team your girlfriend, and it stops.
Everything's packed and ready to go.
All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go.
1,000. 1,000. Breathe. This is not working. Joe, take over.
Mutation. It is the key to our evolution. It has enabled us to evolve from a single-celled organism into the dominant species on the planet.
If we're about to die anyway, I'd rather die fighting! Come for me, Gmork! I am a Atreyu!
And you're looking at your claws and you're looking at your fangs and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know how to kill the bunny. With this, you don't know how to kill the bunny. Do you know what I mean? God, please get off me. I don't want to die up here. Please, 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 please stop moving. That's all I ask. Please find out.
Not bad, Mr. Connors. You say this is your first lesson?
Yes, but my father was a piano mover.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I have no time to discuss this logically. Remember.
Who are they?
Santa and Zafrina from the Amazon.
I'm a piranha. They're in the Amazon.
You have my sword. And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Captain, my captain.
Didn't Alice and Uncle Jasper run away because we're gonna die?
You're thinking you're people gonna die?
At least for the time being. Don't force me to regret our arrangement.
You just concentrate on your part. Remember, I've bled for you once already.
How old are you?
150, dude! And still young!